In this video, we are going to see how to use OneNote tags. If you want to know what is OneNote and how to use it well, look at this video which I recently uploaded. It's a very popular video. Suppose we write notes on paper. What do? We put an asterisk next to it, we underline it, we circle it, we put a box next to it. Why are we doing that? Because we want to say this sentence is an action point, that sentence is a decision. So we are adding some extra meaning. So tags are for additional extra meaning. So where are those tags? You go to the Home tab and you'll see a long list of tags. The most commonly used probably is to do, that's why it's separately available, but it's also available here. The first thing you should do is open this list and look at it. Just scroll down and see what is available. Now the first thing you do is look at the ones which are useful to you and make sure you move them to the first 9 actually, because Control 1 to Control 9, they have default shortcuts. So if idea is something you use very often and it doesn't have a shortcut, that's not a good idea. We should go here. I want idea to move up and I can just put it in one of the top 9. That way, the most common tags for your purpose, your work, your domain will be very easily accessible, Control 1 to Control 9. The to-do tag is very commonly used as action point. Yes, that's why it's called to-do. Now, if you apply a tag and you want to remove it, what do? Well, you can just right-click there and say remove tag, right? But remember a shortcut, it's called Control 0. So Control 1 to Control 9, you apply tags, and Control 0, you remove the tags. Now this tag called to do is a special one. If I want to make all of these to do items, I'll press Control A to select all, and then I'll press Control 1 to apply the tag. Very good. Now suppose this was a checklist and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, and now I want to reset everything. What should I do? Select all and press Control 1 again. So notice what happens. Control 1 is to do. So everyone gets a tick mark. Now next, again I press Control 1, it's gone. And then I press Control 1 again, it's come back but without the tick mark. So that's how you reset a checklist. Now if you go to the tags, you will notice that there are many other tags which look like to do. So you'll see here, discuss with someone, discuss, or call back, something like that. And they behave the same way. There's one more special tag, which is like a to-do tag, but it comes as a part of meetings. Here is a meeting, and I want to take notes about that meeting. I'm going to right-click, send to OneNote, and it is going to ask me, do you want to take your own notes? So yes, I want to take my own notes. Then it's going to show me all the available notebooks and ask me to choose. So once I choose the notebook, it's going to put the details of who is attending in the meeting, or who is invited rather. And now, what is the benefit of these checkboxes? So these are called in attendance. So I can actually keep track of who attended the meeting very, very easily. Now you can have multiple tags also applied. For example, this particular item is important, and also I don't know the difference between anonymous and authenticated, for example. So I need to clarify this, search for it, learn it. So this is an important item, but it needs further exploration. So remember, multiple tags can be applied. Now here is another nice feature. Sometimes we use a stylus, or on mobile you take notes by just writing with the finger. No problem. Now this is sort of an ink. No problem. And this is an image. Either of them can be used for tagging. So for example, in this case, I want to use the idea tag. And when it is a handwriting, if you try to click like this, it's not going to work because individual item is separate. But for that purpose, you go to draw, use lasso select, and you can select it like this. And this whole thing now can be given a tag. So I'm just going to call it important. All this is great, but what if I need some tags which are specific to my work, my domain, my business, my department, and Microsoft has not given the tags? That's why we have custom tags. Let's say I'm an auditor. I'm going to do audits. While doing audits, I go to different branches. So I'm just, let's say, in branch 1. So let's say I've taken notes like this. Now the number 4 item is actually a audit finding and needs to be acted upon later. So now I can create a custom tag. So open the drop down of tags, go to customize tags, new tag. I'm going to call it audit finding. I also want a visual indicator, so I'm going to choose from one of these symbols. And this audit finding is usually a negative thing, so I'm going to use this. Maybe I want to highlight it using a color. So let's do red. And if you really want, you can use highlight, but font and highlight should not be used together. Notice what happened here. The audit finding tag, instead of going to the bottom of the list, went to the top of the list. Why? Because the logic is you created the tag, so obviously it's most important to you. And that's why it should be logically at the top. The disadvantage of this is now all the other familiar tag shortcuts changed. So if you don't like it, you can always move it down so that it doesn't disturb your most commonly used ones. Now let's apply this tag. Control 5 is the shortcut right now and see what happens. I click here, press Control 5 and here it is. If you right click inside OneNote, you do get that list of tags. You don't have to remember the shortcut. So from here as well, I could have applied audit findings. Now that we have so many tags, they will get scattered all over the place across notebooks, sections, pages, and so on. So we need a good method of finding those tags. And that's why you click on this button. It opens a separate pane and gives you a long list of tags depending on where you have used them. Now, before you go and explore these findings or these search results, first thing you have to do is make sure it is searching in the correct place. Correct place means what? Correct scope. By default, it is section, but depending on what you're trying to do, it may not be the section. It can be a notebook or all notebooks for that matter. So we can actually search on today's notes, yesterday's notes. These are very useful. So once you have filtered this correctly, now you will see the results in this search scope. Each one of them is grouped by something. By default, tag name, audit findings, books to read, and so on. Now notice the audit finding we just added, this is not correct, is already here. So it's quite powerful and very fast. Now when it comes to to-do tags, there's one more thing you should do. Of course, it's going to show you all the to-do tags, including handwriting as we saw earlier. To-do tags can be either checked or unchecked. Ideally, you would like to see unchecked, means those which are pending, you have not done. So if you use this option, it will remove the ones which are already completed. Another nice touch. As I was showing you earlier, remember we have this handwritten stuff which we had marked as star or important, that has also come. And we had put this image as idea, so that has also come. So it's a very rich search capability. You can actually create a summary page. And now what happens? It adds a new page and it gives you all the items which are marked as that particular tag. So this option is there only for text-based things. So right click and say link notes and say open linked file. And what will that do? It is actually going to go and look at the file or the page in which this original item is there. So that's how you go to the source page. So now I hope you have understood how powerful tags are and how you can use them to your advantage. That's it for now. See you next time. Thank you for watching.